Okay, so there's this small town, right? And the name's not important, but it's this small town that sort of has one downtown strip. One strip that has stores on it, and it's where all the businesses are, or most of them anyways. On this downtown strip, at the corner, there's a little flower shop called John's Flowers, and it's owned by a man named John. John got this store passed down to him from his dad, and his dad got it passed down from his dad's dad, etc., etc. He has a wife named Susan, he has a daughter named Abigail, and he has a son named John Jr. Now, the four of them have been running the shop for a long time, and they're happy. They're living a good life. All of their customers are their friends. It's a small town, so everybody sort of knows everybody, and they have a monopoly on the flower business, the florist business. Until one day, a store across the street goes up for sale. He sees these two individuals in strange brown robes putting boxes in the store. They're moving in. And John's curious, so he goes over and he introduces himself, and he finds out that these two individuals, they're monks from a nearby monastery, and they've come to sell their holy flowers, as they call them. Now, of course, John is a little nervous on the inside, but he doesn't show it, and he tells them, well, hey, me and my family have a florist shop just across the street, and we kind of have a monopoly on the town, so business might be tough for you guys, but, I'll wish you good luck. There's no bad feelings here. And the two monks kind of chuckle to themselves, and they say, yeah, well, we'll see how it goes. We're not looking to get rich. We have to do this to sell our holy flowers. And John doesn't quite understand, but, he thanks them for their time, and they continue on their way. Now, sure enough, over the next couple of days, John starts seeing some of his friends that normally bought flowers from him going to his competition across the street. And it upsets him, but, he's not doing bad for business. He's still got lots of other customers. But as the months go on, sure enough, John starts losing more and more money. He realizes that by the end of the year, if this keeps up, he's going to go bankrupt. He does what any man in his position would do. He goes across the street and he asks the monks to pack up their business and to leave. And they say, John, we can't do that. We have to sell these holy flowers. And John says, all right, fine, I understand. So he goes back to his shop. And then he sends his wife, hoping that maybe she can use her, charisma, her feminine wiles to get it to happen. So she goes over and she says, hey, our family's been here for generations and we're losing business. Is there anything we can do to persuade you to leave? And the monks say, no, we have to stay here and we have to sell our holy flowers. So the wife leaves, feeling disappointed. Then they send the daughter, hoping that she can use her puppy dog eyes to get them to take pity on the family and leave. They do not. They tell her the same thing, we have to sell our holy flowers. Finally, they send the son, John Jr. And John Jr. goes over to the store, and he walks in and he says, look, I need you to move. My father is running out of business. We're going to go bankrupt. And they say, no can do, sport. We got to sell our holy flowers. So finally, after months of losing money, John one day is sitting at his desk, looking over some financial papers, drink in hand, and he's depressed. And he's holding his head, and he's about to cry. and he's about to cry, and then he sees on a newspaper that an old friend of his has been released from prison. The old friend's name is Hugh. Now, Hugh went to prison for terrible, violent crimes. He's a big guy, but he's sort of a gentle giant. He's soft on the inside, really angry exterior. John calls up Hugh. They hit it off immediately. They're old friends from high school. They got a lot to talk about, a lot to catch up on. So they spend most of the evening talking, having a couple drinks over the phone. And then finally, John asks him the question. He says, Hugh, there's these monks that have moved in across the street from my flower shop. And Hugh says, aye, I've seen them. But with better voice acting. Hugh says, John, do you need me to take care of these guys for you? And John says, yes, thank you for understanding. Please go and take care of them. Wink, wink. So Hugh says, it's done, hangs up the phone. The next morning, John goes to his shop. And he looks out the window with excitement, a little bit of nervousness, but mostly excitement, and he sees, sure enough, a for sale sign in the window of the monk's flower shop. He starts jumping up and down, he starts dancing in his shop. His wife finally comes in for the day, and the wife sees him jumping around in front of the window and asks him what he's doing. He says, "Honey, this just goes to show that only Hugh can prevent florist friars."